The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus told his disciples a parable about the necessity for them to pray always without becoming weary. He said, "There was a judge in a certain town who neither feared God nor respected any human being. And a widow in that town used to come to him and say, 'Render a just decision for me against my adversary.' For a long time, the judge was unwilling. But eventually he thought, 'While it is true that I neither fear God nor respect any human being, because this widow keeps bothering me, I shall deliver a just decision for her, lest she finally come and strike me.' The Lord said, 'Pay attention to what the dishonest judge says. Will not God then secure the rights of his chosen ones who call out to him day and night? Will he be slow to answer them? I tell you, he will see to it that justice is done for them speedily. But when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?'" The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Cannot be an Olympic runner without training. So also, no one can live a true Christian life without prayer. But to pray, you have to have a proper understanding of what prayer is and what it will do for you. Let me give you a little idea, 3 ideas of prayer, and we'll see where you fit. 3 men found themselves locked up in a prison. There were no windows or doors except the one they were put in prison with, and it was locked up secure. Their hope of escape was rather slim. We will call them Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Now, Matthew was not a believer in prayer. He had given that up a long time ago. He usually saw the dark side of life, and in this case, he just plainly gave up. He knew it was useless to try to escape, so he decided to just accept his fate in life. About the only thing that was good for now was to spread gloom and doom. "We're lost," was his evaluation of their situation. Mark was much different. He truly believed in prayer. He berated Matthew for his lack of faith and told him to get on his knees and not be blaming God, but to pray for deliverance. Mark spent his time praying the rosary beads and praying to God for a miracle. The last man, Luke, was different than Matthew or Mark. He was not only religious, but he believed in God and prayed to him in his own way. Luke was a very practical man. He found in this situation a box of matches and struck one. There in the corner of the prison, he found a chisel and a hammer. Wow! He began to chip away at the solid wall. Well, with no light to work by, it was dark in the prison cell. The wall seemed like solid rock. After working at it for about an hour, Luke had made very little progress. He could hear Mark over there in the corner praying his beads. Matthew was saying nothing. Matthew had given up a long time ago that they would ever get out of this cell. Luke kept chipping away at the wall. After many long hours, he had only made a small headway. He would stop once in a while to rest and say a short prayer to God. "God, I believe with your help we can get out of here. so please help us. Then he would go back to his hammer and chisel. At one point, he felt all alone. Matthew was totally silent. He'd fallen asleep. Mark had stopped rattling his rosary and saying his prayers. And finally, after a couple of days and nights of work, he was able to loosen a large stone on the wall, and light came through from the other side. He shouted for joy. With the help of the other two men, they were able to make the hole large enough to crawl through to freedom. Mark said, "Thank God for the miracle," and he ran off to the nearest church to thank God. Of course, he forgot to say thank you to his partner who got him through there. Matthew said, "See that man? There he goes, telling everyone that God worked a miracle for him." Luke said, "Well, maybe God did work a miracle." Matthew said, "You surely don't believe that rubbish." Luke said, "All I know is that without God's help, I would not have been able to get us out of prison. I know that Mark's prayers were a bigger help than you, griping and groaning." Three very different ideas of prayer. Matthew had no faith in God, and so he didn't believe in prayer. Mark prayed for miracles and then sat back and waited for God to perform the miracle. A lot of the time our prayer for others is like that. We pray to God for them, but we never do anything ourselves to help the person out. Now, Luke believed in prayer, but in also doing what was possible himself. Prayer kept his courage and hope. Prayer is not the easy way out. It's the help along the way. In the first reading today, you see Luke's prayer in action. The Israelites relied on the prayers of Moses, not to work miracles, but to strengthen them in their action. Jesus tells us in the gospel to continue to pray, not so much for what we want, because many times we don't really know what we want, but to pray for what we need. Prayer is a help to us then, not the answer itself. I know a man who rarely prayed in his life because he had very little faith. He was a good man. One time he developed a large lump on the back of his neck. After putting it off for some time, he finally went to the doctor, and the doctor confirmed that that lump had to be removed. It could be cancer, and so very dangerous. And then maybe it would only be a growth that was not cancerous. The man came home, dug out his rosary beads, his prayer books, began going to daily mass and communion. Great storm of prayers went up to God. The surgery took place, and thank God, the growth was not cancer, and the operation was successful. After the surgery, the rosary beads and the prayer books were put away, and we no longer saw the man at daily mass. This is not the kind of prayer Jesus is talking about. Our prayer should be constant and practical, doing what we can to help ourselves. Don't use prayer as a red button to punch in an emergency, because you'll find it really isn't very effective. Use it to build a true and lasting relationship with God, and He'll bring you through any and all your problems in your life. Talk to Him. He's real. He's not a statue or a picture. He's a very real person, and He's there to listen to you. That's prayer. And listen. Sometimes we talk, and pray and put it all away. Now, what's God going to do? God ain't going to do anything. Listen to Him. He wants to talk to you. Give Him some time. That's prayer. Prayer is a conversation with God. You come to Mass on Sunday, You talk to him, you tell him all your needs, all your moans and groans, and all the things you need. Then listen. Give him some time, like during communion time, to talk to you. And you'll find the answers will come. God bless you.